Three, two, one. Um, Night. Seriously, you're gonna come in with the Wow, wow. Tonight it's a all-out slugfest. I should have a quote from this movie, but I don't. So whatever. We're gonna be talking about 1994's The Paper. Number 40, top grossing films of 1994. We've definitely done 1994 before because it's an important year in film. I feel like this movie is like a caption photo of the end of an era for movie making. This is the same movie Pulp Fiction, or the same year Pulp Fiction comes out. It's good stuff. Russ, your first time probably ever hearing of the movie. I also think this movie, like every actor in here, probably you've got a different what do you think of them for than I do. I can't wait. Let's go. What did you think of it? Rate it, grade it.
I give it a B minus. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like anything special. I don't want to say. Maybe because I don't know if there's a nostalgia thing or something more I should know about it. But as somebody who just came into it watching a movie, I was like, yeah, good movie. It's about newspaper. Had some good laughs. I like the style of humor. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't too slow. It was just a good story.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I agree. You're probably right in the range. I think I'd give it a B plus because, well, I'd actually go to a B. This time I noticed the pacing was actually much slower than I remembered. And I thought that really is a testament to how fast we expect things to move in our, digital media these days, whether it's streaming or watching a movie. You really expect things to move faster. Watching this, it's like, wow, you've got extra time. Uh, but yeah, great characters and really Michael Keaton. I feel like this is probably the end of a specific era of Michael Keaton. In my youth, I feel like I really wanted him to be my cool uncle. He seemed pretty fucking cool. Got to be Batman. Like Michael Keaton was an important figure. Mr. Mom. Have you ever even seen Mr. Mom?
Yeah, I know I have, but when you say it, I can't
Yeah.
recognize anything about it in my
Wow.
head. I
He was
guess it's kind of forgettable, maybe.
not even.
No, I just know the name. I've never watched this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty great. There's a lot. Gung Ho. His '80s stuff was phenomenal and stuff I watched over and over again. Uh, Full of actors, right? Who do you think really brought it? Who's your top acting award go to?
Um,
Nobody. All right. Okay.
I didn't
Dead air.
expect that question. Who was is it? Who was the guy who ran the paper?
Bernie
What's
or
that
Jason
actor's name?
Robards?
Jason Robards. His picture I was like, that must be him. His picture on Google is just a black and white photo for whatever reason. But
Been
um,
around a while.
he has been around a while. I would say he brought it the most. Every time he was on screen, everything he said, it was like, I get this old man. I think like him. Ben totally
He was
is
only
him.
on for her begging for money, which yeah, that's a fun little sequence where she's overtly coming on to him.
No, not that guy. Not the guy who owned the newspaper,
That's
but
Jason Robards, idiot.
no, the guy who was like the director or whatever, the manager.
Robert Duvall played Bernie. His name's
That's
Robert
right.
Duvall. He's a very important actor.
He is. He is. He does not show up on the list of accredited actors on Google for whatever reason.
Well, he's one of the tops of the movie.
Didn't we just
All
do
right.
a movie with him in it and the
We
same
did.
name came
Hit
up?
the link. It's this one.
Which one was it? He was not credited on that one on Google either. I think Google doesn't like him.
Hmm.
And that's how I
Interesting.
function on this show. If
It's
anyone
Google, right? If
cares.
Google doesn't know it, you don't know it. I get it.
Yeah. Robert Duvall.
Yep.
He was the best actor for sure.
All right, Bernie. Prostate the size of a bagel. It's a
Just
classic line.
the way he like checks them when they need to be checked or tells
Uh huh.
them no or whatnot. Like he gives you a reason, but he's also really just you're not getting past this conversation. I like that.
Hmm.
As
No
someone who
nonsense kind of
manages
fella.
others,
Nah.
I
How do
would
you
hope
feel
that
about
I
being
can do that.
estranged from your daughter?
Well, I don't have one, but if I
But if
did,
you did,
I would hope that I am not like that.
good call. Good call. I gotta admit, as kind of cheesy as his character is, it helps the story along so much. Randy Quaid. I think McDougal's really a fun part of the movie that helps things move along. He provides the final um,
He's
conflict there in the bar.
he's interesting for me. Like I you probably already know what it is. I only ever think of one other movie when I
Oh,
think
it's
of him
cousin
at
Eddie
all.
from National Lampoon's Any of Them.
Oh no. See, I never really watched National Lampoon and you always
Oh,
gave me shit for that.
so then it's
But
Independence Day.
it's Independence Day. And I feel like he plays the same character in both movies.
Well, you should see the National Lampoon's Vacation movies because they're fucking awesome. Watch the first one first. Just do the first three and then you're good. You don't need to come in for the second ones.
I'm not gonna.
No, not going to say anything. Okay. Randy Quaid's pretty crazy with how his life has progressed. Have you ever Googled him? Because I bet you find some interesting things about where Randy Quaid is now. He
No,
was passing
but
bad checks for a while and living a little rough, I think. Very interesting how the excess of Hollywood really chews a lot of people or chewed. It slowed down a lot, I guess.
you know what I always think of when I hear the name Quaid? Do you think of the same thing? I think
Probably not
of
because I think of Dennis or Randy Quaid. I think of Inner Space.
I think of a grotesque little baby that lives inside another man's stomach saying Quaid.
Oh, from Total Recall.
Yeah,
Gross.
I know.
That's unfortunate. I think I
Yeah,
saw that movie
well, my
once.
name's not Quaid, so it doesn't matter.
Right. It is not.
You saw that movie once? Total Recall?
Total Recall. Only watched it once.
Huh. I
And I
mean
was young when it happened. I decided it was not for me.
it's not amazing.
Uh, Ron Howard directed the movie, put both his father and his brother in there. His brother's got a great role in this. I think it's one of my favorite of him being in Ron Howard's movies, which was a favorite, gimmick of mine for a long time. I really enjoy Clint Howard. He's gone a kind of a horror film background now. He's in cheesy horror films, but he seems to enjoy it. He's a cool dude. And then his father passed away, Rance, who had a small role in this. I always think of him from Walk Hard as the preacher, the devil. You know who has hands? The devil. And he uses them for holding.
My wife's trying to
You having a,
take wine from me. Sorry, she
yeah?
just left. Um,
Okay.
the devil has hands. Sorry.
You talk about something then, you son of a bitch.
Clint Howard. Just he's the character in
You're,
The Water Boy who's really gross.
oh, yeah, yeah.
And I feel like he's done that character multiple times. Hasn't he?
Him and Alan Covert.
He's like, I'm just gonna be this weird bald guy who shows his teeth and moves his hands funny on screen.
It works.
You know that that's what he's doing.
He's a good character actor. I love it. All right, then. Brian Grazer, as a producer, he produced a lot of really big hits. What was your favorite? Woo! All right, on to the next one. Marissa Tomei. When you think of Marissa Tomei, what do you think of? Is it My Cousin Vinny or is it something else?
It's My Cousin Vinny.
Isn't that crazy? That's her debut. And she was in a lot of other good movies.
I feel like I
Uh,
always think of her as that character. Like, and I don't even place her. She was in The Wrestler. Wasn't she the main love interest in The Wrestler?
I think so, but I have never actually seen The Wrestler.
What? That's a really, really good movie.
I'm sure it is. I don't know. I watch
It's
Mickey Rourke when I need to, but I'm not
it's
going out of my
definitely
way.
his best role he's ever been in. It's
I
like the
get that.
perfect role for him, and it's his best acting.
Well, I'd like to see it someday. And the fact that Marissa Tomei's in it is just a bonus, I guess, huh?
A bonus.
All right. I really enjoy her from Untamed Heart with Christian Slater. That was one of those 90s movies that for some reason came up on HBO a lot. And it was like, oh, I love Christian Slater. And Rosie Perez is great from that movie she was in. And Tomei
She
bringing the heat,
she kind of looks good next to Christian Slater. Like they both have the same kind of look going on, so they would
right?
be good in a movie together.
Gaunt.
Get it? Anger Management.
Oh my God, she's so fucking funny in Anger Management. I that movie, I don't know. I find that movie to actually be like pound for pound one of the better joke landing, funny Adam Sandler later period movies. I think there's a lot of funny shit in Anger Management.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't even know how to say it because like I don't love Adam Sandler comedy enough to really rank him high
Which
on the
is
comedic
crazy because
scale.
he was like,
He was loved by
uh,
it all,
oh
and
my God, dude.
everyone's seen all of his movies, and I don't hate him. It's just like Anger Management was another one of those just like him screaming at somebody movies. And I would say it's one of the better ones that he did. Like
I
Jack
mean,
Nicholson just kind
Nicholson
of
is
brings
fucking
it to,
so funny, dude. So funny.
yeah, hearing him say some of the things he says, like it doesn't even seem natural when he's talking about having a small penis or whatever. You're just like, what the hell is going on? But he keeps going on with it, and and he's got that crazy face. Click the link to Joe. Uh, he's just like he makes that movie a good movie. Not a good movie, but a watchable movie.
Yeah.
Who's the
True
next
that.
actor you want to talk about?
Glenn Close.
Cruella Deville. She
Cruella
just looks
Deville.
like her. She looks like
Well,
Cruella Deville.
we haven't covered that movie, but The Big Chill, we have, and she's in that. Phil, she brings it in just about everything she's in. I feel like she's a
So wait,
Meryl
who's your
Streep
best?
level kind of an actress.
Who is your favorite actor in this? Was it her?
Randy Quaid.
Oh,
But I mean, watching this is one of my favorite Michael Keatons. Though they're all my favorite, but I really he gets a close second place. I mean, Duvall's great. The guy who's the nervous dude when he buys the chair. This that scene's really good where McDougal's like, let Marty talk to her husband, and then shoots the
Shoots a
papers.
stack of newspapers in front of.
Hmm.
He like leaves the room to get them and comes into the room, and he's just like, "I'm gonna take my time to shoot this stack of newspapers."
Yep.
But
Yeah.
yeah, he was great.
What did you think about the actual plot of the movie? The feasibility of two black youths in the city being caught next to a murder scene, and they're who the cops just pick up. I feel like we've seen that played out time and time again after this movie. Interesting how much we getting our news has changed. Like most people now, I feel like newspapers are almost a bygone. You know what I mean? They are in their last days of even being printed. And that's insane. This is how people got to know shit for I don't know how long. When was the newspaper invented? You should have already Googled it. Damn it. It's like I'm podcasting with my brother's kids or something. Uh, what's your thoughts? How has the newspaper played into your life? Have you ever looked for a job in the classifieds?
1566.
Hundreds of years. I'm
Hundreds of
justified
years.
saying hundreds of years.
uh,
You
the
ever look for a
first
job in a newspaper?
printed. I didn't. I didn't. No,
Really?
I
That's
went
interesting.
to Blockbuster because my friend worked there, and this dumbass got talked into hiring me. He was so stupid. I bet he
That's
regrets
just
it.
mean. I don't know why you're mean to me all the time.
Yeah, it was you. You hired me. I'd probably be homeless if it weren't for that.
Oh wow.
That's not true, but
No.
I want to I want
You
to make you
probably would have
feel
got a
good.
better
So
job. Your life ought to be on a whole much
nothing,
higher trajectory.
nothing. I mean, maybe I ended up in a place that had growth, and I did well once I got there. But to have a shitty job somewhere where you're just doing bullshit, Blockbuster wasn't that bad.
No.
I look back on my time there fondly.
Me too, for the most part. For the most part.
No,
I had some crazy shit go down.
yeah.
Some crazy shit. Anyway, anyway,
What were we talking about?
Shobon Fallon. Is it Shobon? No, it's Shaban. How do you sell that's an Irish name. Just like Swarzy, which isn't Swarzy, it's like Sorsha. Sorsha. That's right.
Uh,
Sorsha.
Saban.
Shaban.
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 What are you talking
Shaban
about?
Fallon. She was on Saturday Night Live. Always loved her. And then she's the in Men in Black One. She's the
She's the
Vincent
wife.
D'Onofrio's wife. Yeah,
She's
wearing an
the.
Egger suit.
It was
That-
like he had a skin suit. You should
yeah,
get some
she.
new wallpaper in here.
Yeah, new funny shit. Stop the presses. Does that resonate with you at all? Do you know where
Like
that
not
comes from?
not in any real capacity. I mean, I've heard it before. I know it's. I honestly, before watching this movie, I had not heard it in a very long time. I
Right?
think the phrase is kind of dying out.
Yeah, I mean, not many presses are used like this anymore. I feel like the shots of it. I feel like Ron Howard really tried to have a different directing style with this. Uh, I know we've done Ron Howard before, but I don't remember what it was. What's your favorite Ron Howard movie? Do you got one? Has he ever done better than Apollo 13?
Um, we did A Beautiful Mind,
We
And
did.
I really liked A Beautiful Mind. I know that you had some issues with it. He did the Da Vinci Code too, which
That's true. The first Da Vinci Code really rocks it out.
I guess it's like a forgettable great movie, if that's, I don't know if you can say that. But he
I
also
don't know.
did
Paul Bettany is
Willow.
an albino. I remember that usually.
I feel like I have to give it to Willow just on the nostalgia factor.
Willow. Speaking of Willow, Light and Magic, the documentary on Disney Plus, cannot recommend it highly enough. It is so neat to see the birth of industrial light and magic caught in stories and photographs, and it'd be worth its own
Oh
podcast.
shit. He did Cinderella Man.
Yes, that's the second one I have written down. That's probably my follow up to Apollo 13. I
No,
feel,
yeah, I think it's Cinderella Man then. Apollo
yeah, I
13,
feel
I don't remember loving it as much as I loved other. I need to watch it again. I think I'm pushing other movies into it that I didn't like Space
hmm,
Cowboys. Fuck that movie.
space. Yeah, that's not a great movie. Uh, yeah, no, I don't know. I love Apollo 13. It's the perfectly done, like true to life Tom Hanks space movie. Really great. But
Hey, you
yeah,
know what?
Cinderella
Ron
Man. I always feel
Howard's,
like in my mind I get to a point where I'm like, is Cinderella Man really that good? Like, do I remember it right? And then I watch it and I'm, oh yeah, this movie brings it. So good.
you know what his worst movie is? Solo,
Um,
a Star Wars movie. God
Now
damn.
he came in to finish that one, and I don't know why that movie gets so much shit.
Because it's horrible.
Why is it so horrible compared to Attack of the Clones?
Have you seen it? It's just so bad. It's
I'll
so
have to watch it
stupid.
again.
But hey, you know what he did do as
I like
well? Arrested
Donald Glover.
Development. And like there's always money in the banana stand.
Always money in the
Come on.
banana stand. Always money in the banana stand. So it's funny, the top three movies we still haven't done from 94, Lion King, Forrest Gump, and True Lies. Of those, you'd probably go Forrest Gump. I'd go True Lies. But
It's
Lion King was
Forrest Gump.
by and far number one.
I
Did you
mean,
see Lion King in theaters?
I don't remember. Um if I had to guess, I'd say no. But I have watched Lion King a lot. I do personally consider it probably the best Disney movie. Um and that I mean, God, if I'm saying that, then maybe it is the best one out of those three. But like personally, Forrest Gump is just so great. Come on, what a good year for movies! Forrest Gump and The Lion King, and I guess True Lies.
Yeah, no, there's I feel like there's a change happening at this time where storytelling was starting to take on a more complex and interesting, not so character driven, but more of the story and the meaning. That's why this movie is almost like, all right, we made this, but it's all characters. It's all just a story that the characters help push along.
Mm-hmm.
When they are trying to get their cop quote, right? And they're talking to the cop in the bathroom, and they start talking about how the kids have a bright future. One of them's going to Penn State. I was like, that doesn't look good nowadays. Like, here we are 30 years later, and Penn State has a reputation that is, I don't know, irreparably marved. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Maybe it's weird. Uh,
I mean, it's a college.
it is a
I
college.
did not. Anyone who can graduate high school normally is doing fine in my book. So if he's going to Penn State, what a champ. Hey,
Right.
you asked me
But right
earlier
during
if I
that Sandusky era. What?
you asked me earlier if I found the if I found it believable and everything. And I do. In fact, the thing I found least believable about it was the fact that the cops weren't just running with that story, that they were going to like stand up for these, minorities and
Two youths.
make them, yeah, and actually like go out of their way to fight the mob instead, and claim innocence to these kids when they had a like, oh yeah, sure, we can just case closed, we're good cops, let's close the door and move on to the next case, get paid, good job. Nobody likes what's going on there anyways.
Yeah.
Like, America's messed up. I thought that was too happy of an ending, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, they set you up for the 24-hour time period right up front. So, uh, yeah, everything
when
works out.
he
You're right.
when Michael Keaton is leaving his wife at the restaurant,
Yeah.
I can't imagine anyone doing that. I
Right.
I
When
just
he
can't.
says the thing is, and especially you are gonna find this interesting. I gotta go. When he does that line, it's so good.
Yeah, I am married and not even pregnant, and I, if I was in that situation, I would just be like, yeah, okay, we're running with the print that my boss wants, and I will hang out with my wife and her parents tonight so I don't get fucking murdered. Like,
His parents.
no, it's her parents.
No, those are his parents.
Pretty
Pretty
sure it's her.
sure. All right. Shut it down. We're gonna have to go back and check it out. Last little thing I got, last little tidbit. There's a shot of New York circa 1994, and in the foreground, World Trade Center. When you see
But
that in a movie, what do you think? Does it make you? It makes me like almost like I'm seeing a dead relative I miss. Feel like what's happened with that has really become like a just a sad memory for everybody involved. When you see that, does that come through as strong or
I don't know. It's like, I guess, layers. Like, the first layer would be probably a little more dissociated than maybe a lot of other people are, because I never saw them. Like, I didn't grow up in New York or anything, so
right?
it's not, my whole relationship with them was finding out what they were when the planes hit them. And then, once I have that moment, I my mind always just goes to the darkest parts of that day when you saw people jumping out of the buildings, and when you start to hear the death toll, and all the worst actual parts of it. And then it kind of is very, very sad, and that's how I
Very
feel when
sad.
I see those things. Yeah.
All right, we'll cut around this. New York as a character. What a hoot, huh? All right, you got anything else?
um i I
Want to
guess
riff
I'm
on
just,
Jason Alexander? What do you think of George in this?
um I thought his character was way over the top. uh
Out of everybody in this, he's even when the two hardcore New Yorkers are fighting about trying to get a cop quote, like it's not as over the top as Jason Alexander's squinty face.
yeah, but I feel like it was the actor I expected him to be. Like even just the way he ran when he saw Quaid and just his overreacting anger and stuff was very much like there was significant shrinkage and just the George Costanza we all know. Um,
What cracks me up about
I
that is
did
that's
like him
Larry
in the
David
role.
so much. You did? Didn't.
I liked him in the role. I just thought there were so many times where this movie surprised me where I thought it was going to go one way with being silly and over the top, and it didn't. Robert Duvall was my favorite instance of that, where he had the perfect moment to just make like some Jack Nicholson style quip that was like, shut up, you stupid ass, or something like thing like that. But instead, he said something meaningful. Um, when George Costanza comes on set, he's just like, I'm an idiot the whole time. And he's what I was expecting from this whole movie. But I
Yeah,
did like him in the role because I like Seinfeld.
I like Seinfeld. All right. Well,
What is
like and subscribe.
2%
See our
milk?
other. What's that?
Click the other stuff, guys.
Yeah. We did this movie. We did this movie. Ron Howard. We talk about the same five directors every time.
I
Not
think
true. We
actually our best episode was probably The Patriot. So click here, watch The Patriot, down and to the
Patrioted up
left, down
July
and to the
4th.
right, down and to the
Down to